Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I'm a life and business success mentor for female entrepreneurs and small business owners who want to create success but on their own terms. I help them with mindset, strategies, systems, and tools so that they can start working on their business and no longer in it. At the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show today, it's my privilege to be interviewing Veena V. Veena is an award-winning radio presenter who turned an online entrepreneur. She started working as a cleaner at the age of 14, landed her first radio presenting job at 16, and currently runs several online businesses around her hyperactive little boy. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Veena. How are you? That seems like quite a story.
It is indeed. Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me on.
It's a pleasure.
And I love what you do as well, that you help women working on their businesses, not to in them. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
there is a life also.
There is. That's a really good point, actually. I think a lot of people forget that as well.
Absolutely.
I think everyone's so caught up in like, oh, I need to be here. I need to be making this much money. But I always being happy every day. I try, and it's like you have to enjoy the journey. I know it sounds so like cheesy and cliche, but you have to enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
When you get to your goal, like you might have had a really horrible time every day just to get to where. So
exactly. I don't think that the end goal has the same savor if you really had so much pain only on the journey. So and I think we all tend to forget that. We all, at some point, I mean, I've been there, I'm regularly there as well. I have to remind myself that there is a life also. And the simple fact that I still have a rest of cold in my voice,
I feel so bad for you.
has everything to do with the fact that at some point I didn't listen. I just did too much. And so my body was very tired. It took it on and thought, hey, let me give you a sign.
Now so, your body is trying to teach you a lesson.
Exactly.
You should have taken a break, Annis.
So tell us about you.
Right, so that was a very nice introduction, by the way, so thank you for that. So I've literally been working like all my life. When I was younger, I think I did a lot of kind of entrepreneurial stuff, but I never knew what it was to be a businesswoman or what an entrepreneur was. And I've only kind of got into the world of business like about a year ago, probably less than that now. So my life, like you said, my first job was at 14 when I was a cleaner. And the whole point of me wanting to do that is that I just saw my parents working so ridiculously hard. My parents were from the island of Mauritius. For people that don't know where that is, that's like a tiny, it's literally like a tiny dot off South Africa.
And a beautiful one.
Oh God, yeah. It is so beautiful. And people always ask me like, why would your parents come to like the UK from Mauritius? But they just were looking for jobs. They just wanted to create a better life for themselves. So that's why I think my hard work ethic has come from, is kind of watching my parents.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started, really. And then, I got into the media industry. I worked as a radio presenter from the age of 16 whilst doing my A-levels and having a part-time job as well. So, just this working hard ethic has always been with me.
Obviously.
And I've always loved what I've done. I just love what I do. But I think I've only, if I'm honest with myself and honest with you, I've only kind of understood the value of myself and money quite recently. Like I've always been a hard worker, but I've never seen the kind of financial results that I should have been getting. So it's been quite an interesting transition for me, I would say, this past year. So you've got me kind of in a different headspace now to what I was maybe about 10 years ago.
Well, it's all about that journey to self-development, of course, and this whole thing around money is really interesting, because money is never about money. So it's about self-worth, it's about self-confidence, whatever. And so as long as we don't value ourselves, there are some funny translations in the money area. Definitely. And that hard-working theme is a very, very, very common one in our world. Yes, in at least in this part of the world. Yes, definitely.
Exactly.
So how by mere curiosity, how did you move from being a cleaner to being a TV presenter in 2 years' time at such a young age? Because that's quite an interesting transition.
Yeah. I've never thought of it. No one has ever asked me that question.
I'm sorry, I'm curious.
No, but this is why you're a good interviewer, because you ask good questions, because no one's asked me that before. Well, when I was a cleaner at 14, obviously I was still at school. I was like doing my GCSEs and my exams. For me, that was just a bit of pocket money. It was like a Saturday job. And it was for me literally to save money, understand what money was. I never wanted to ask my parents for money because I saw, like I said before, how hard they were working. And I just liked having that, like, there's money in my bank account. Like, this is, I can go shops and go to the friends. I don't have to ask anyone. It's kind of independence. I think that's what I like. Money equals independence and being kind of just going off and doing one. And it's really weird. Like, me and my family still don't know where the fascination for the radio came from. Like, we don't know. No one in my family works in the media industry. None of my friends, well, some of my friends do now, but when I was 16, like, I didn't know anyone who worked. It was like a different world.
Yeah.
It's just like, you look at your radio and you're like, wow, there's a like person talking to me from radio. So we don't know where that's come from. All I can remember as a child is I've always been making like tapes, you know, back in the day when you actually had a cassette. rather than internet or the CD, we had cassettes back then. So I would go to my house, like, interviewing my parents at the age of 5 and going to school and interviewing teachers and just making tapes. And rather than me buying presents for people, I would make tapes for people. So it's very, we don't know how that started, but always had the media bug. And then I just thought, at the age of 15 I was actually studying for my exams, and with me, I'm very organized. So I was studying for about an hour and I thought, I need a break now. Switched on the radio, and there was a radio competition. And I was like, I'm on a break from revising. Let me like enter this competition. And that is how it started. I sent like a cassette to a radio station in London, and I got picked to be like a finalist. And it just started from there, basically. The whole getting me into the media industry. And it's like it's a vector, isn't it? Like, one thing leads to the other, to the other, to the other. So
and all the synchronicity, of course, and also what's interesting with the synchronicity is that for a lot of people think that they need, mere chance. But if you're not able, when an opportunity arises, to jump on it and act on it, you just think that nothing ever happens in your life. But in essence, you need to have that attention, see things when they pop up, but for anything else, act on it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because I always say that to people, even now. Like, I'm on Periscope every day, my YouTube videos tell people, take action today, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said I could have listened to that radio competition and thought, I'll do that, but later, usually never. So even at that young age of 15, I thought, no, I'm going to enter this competition now. A lot of people could have said it was me like turning on the radio at that exact time, but at the same time, if I didn't take action, maybe I wouldn't be. Maybe I would have never gotten into the radio industry.
No, absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking about a parallel that I had not thought of, although I'm regularly talking about it, is that back in November, I had this opportunity to take over the franchise of the Athena Central London network, when I was in a situation where theoretically I had absolutely no means to do so. And so I saw the opportunity. In fact, it's the same. I saw the opportunity. I thought out of the box. Normally, I should have thought, no, I can't. I thought out of the box, and I found a solution. And 2 weeks later, I was the owner of the Athena Central London network. So it's all about acting, taking action, and thinking out of the box also. Yeah.
It's like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone as well. Like even going back kind of to a story. So I worked in the media industry from the age of 16 to 21. That's when my life completely changed. And I unexpectedly became pregnant. Like it was completely out of the blue, was not planned at all. And I would say that was probably one of the hardest times of my life, because I was going to have an abortion. I actually went to the abortion clinic 3 times. I was actually there kind of lying on the I don't know what you call it, like, you know, one of those beds you're like lying
I know what you mean.
And they're I don't know why, but they were just about to inject me. Maybe it was with some kind of hormone or something, but he was just about to put it in my skin, and that split second I was like, no. I was like, I can't do this. They were like, do what? And I was like, I can't have an abortion, I can't do this. So yeah, literally that split second changed my life.
I can imagine. Wow.
So much. So yeah, as you can imagine as well, I think it has been really difficult, because I was kind of at the top of my career then. I just won an award actually from Channel 4. For people who are not in the UK, it's kind of like one of the main channels, TV channels in the UK. So I won an award for my radio presenting. So I was really like kind of getting on in my career. And then to find out at a young age I was pregnant, I was just like, oh, I just can't do it. I can't have a baby at 21 with, you know, no money, I'm at the top of my career. I wasn't in a stable relationship. I'd actually split up from the father of my child as well. So yeah, it was just really difficult.
So talking about a few challenges in your life.
Yeah, that was one of them. But in a weird way, I think I was prepping for, because if anyone knows, the media industry is a very cutthroat industry. So even by the age of 21, I'd probably been rejected maybe like 500 times or more. It's that brutal. Like you're going towards the door constantly, and so yeah, I think from a young age, do you know, it's really weird because I'm like you, Anis, I always interview people. It's very rare that I get interviewed. So when I actually think about my life, and I'm talking now, I'm like, oh, actually, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened in the past that I've never talking about now. I'm like, oh, actually, hold on a second. This happened, that happened. So yeah, a lot of challenges.
So I think it's an interesting point to dig a little deeper on, because a lot of women will have the limiting belief that because they have young children, they cannot do whatever it is they want to do in their life, etc. So at that point, if I understand it right, you made the conscious choice you choose your son and went a different route. So what did you do? You went back to having a job, or what did you do?
Yeah, so I think when he was about 6 months old, this is going to sound really glamorous now, but it's not. When he was 6 months old, I actually got paid to go to the Bahamas and present a TV show over there. But even for me, that was a bit of a dilemma, because my son was only 6 months old and I had to leave him for a week by himself with my mum. Luckily, thank you so much. She could have said no. Like I know if my son ever has children, but I'm not looking after your child for a week. Like, are you crazy? So thanks, Mum, for doing that. But I just felt I had to take that job, because if I didn't, like I said, the media industry is really difficult to get into in the first place. So if I'm kind of saying no to jobs, then I knew it was going to be more difficult for me to get back into the media industry after having that break. So I took the job. I went over there. After that, I was doing bits of radio. I did stuff for like BBC Essex, some other online radio, a lot of online TV presenting as well. But then it got to a point where it was just getting really challenging to look after my son by myself.
On your own, of course. Yeah.
On my own, and work in the media, because in the media, like, you might leave your house at 8 o'clock in the morning and come back at 8 o'clock at night or longer. It's very long days, very unsociable. I wanted to get back in the radio now. And you're trying to get back into something, you have to take jobs that aren't like in the day. So it'd be me taking a job at the night. And so who was going to look after my son in the night while I'm on the radio? Anyway, so I thought, wow, now I really have no money. Let me go and get a normal job. So it it was quite hard to do because it was kind of taking a step back from interviewing celebrities and hosting events to thousands of people to being at a desk and just sitting in a mundane job that I did not want to do was, again, very challenging for me. But I had to do it because I had to make money at the end of the day. And I didn't want to I couldn't actually stay at home because I wasn't making any money. And at that point, I didn't think of what I'm doing now. I didn't think about how you can make money online or a business. It just was not in my mindset to do that. So I took this job, receptionist at a corporate place, was there for 2 years, I think. But yeah, by the end of those 2 years, I was like, I'm dying. Like, I'm killing my creativity, and I'm wasting my life doing this job. At the same time, I have friends who are receptionists, and there's nothing against them. They're happy doing that job, but I was not happy in that job.
Yeah, and it's a whole different type of world, and I mean, thing altogether than what you were doing.
Exactly.
So of course you made the choice, you knew why you were doing it, but at some point, yes, when you're really dreading something, it's another story altogether.
I was like walking up to the building, and I would literally be crying. I wouldn't be physically crying, but you know when you cry, right? I was like, oh my god, I walk in there. So you get to that stage, I think it is time to move. And I obviously gave in my notice. I left, but I actually left with no real plan, which is not my
That's not necessarily a sensible thing to do.
No, I would
not
never
nowadays.
say that. No. I mean, I kind of had a plan. Like, I was thinking I'm going to do filming work. I'm going to get my blogs up to scratch. But I didn't actually. So in a way, I had a plan, but it wasn't a way to me. Because look, we know we could do podcast interviews all day. We could write blog posts all day. But you obviously plan of how you're going to, if you want to do that full time, how you're going to make it. Exactly. So yeah, that was, so please, if you're watching this, never always think about how you're going to make money. But luckily, I don't know the word luck, but on my last day at the receptionist job, I sent out, and there's a few hundred people that work in this massive glass. I sent an email saying, thanks everyone. If you want to keep in touch with me, here's my obviously link to my kind of YouTube channel, my LinkedIn page. And then one of the partners of the business, the corporate company, was like, oh, we didn't know you do filming. Do you want to do filming for us?
Interesting, fascinating.
So they were my first paying client, and the money they paid me lasted me for about 3 months. So that was, again, I don't like to call it luck. It's all about taking
it's not luck. Absolutely. And I think what is interesting as well that you bring up indirectly is the notion of being visible. You hadn't told anyone you did. And if you very interesting. Well, I've been fighting all my life with visibility until last January. I suddenly became aware of it, and I decided no more. And that's how I reverted this show from a blog talk radio show into a video series. So that's another
a very good idea. And I think a lot of people struggle with it. Like, I know you're not originally from the UK, but I think a lot of British people struggle with like telling people what we do. Like at that receptionist place, I should have been telling people I used to, do this, and I'm still trying to do it, but it never crossed my mind. And then a lot of the people at the company have been adding me on LinkedIn, and now my network is growing every day now, just because I told people what I did. So that's a really simple tip, actually. Like, tell people what you do. It's really easy.
Absolutely. So talking about what you do, what do you do today? So tell us more about... So after I left that receptionist job, I started to do filming. But then after kind of about a year of doing that, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to just be filming for companies. I want to be helping people. I want to be building like my own empires and my brands. That is when I came up of I literally kind of came up with this all at the same time. And I thought, hey, I'm going to start doing this. So that was
I haven't officially launched one of them yet, but last year, like yourself, I launched my own podcast called Mum to Millionaire, and that's basically for go-getting mums. So mums who want to excel in business and life, that's a podcast for them. I also run online trainings. So I basically, my tagline I say to people now is that I'm an online entrepreneur, and is to become more confident and creative with using. So I've got my YouTube channel set up with a lot of free resources. I do online training courses, and I've got my first workshop coming up on the 27th of April in central London.
So tell us more about it. What is that?
So that is because for me, I love helping people, and I love the online space. It means I can obviously go and pick my son up every day from school. I can work from home. But at the same time, I like physically touching people and being with people in a room. So that's why I thought, hey, I'm going to do my own workshop up with another amazing mum as well. She's a marketing expert, and we've come together. So our workshop is basically showing people the power of YouTube and lying, and how businesses, because me as a mum as well, I meet a lot of other mums and just business owners in general who aren't confident. Like they find video scary. So I'm here to tell them, like, I'm actually not a naturally confident person. It's taken a lot of this. Now, when I go into a room sometimes, I'm like, oh my God, there's people here. Like, come on, like, you can do this. Like, you have to psych yourself up.
Yeah.
So if someone like me can kind of be confident, like, anyone can really do it. That's why I'm so passionate right now to helping people to just get them to start doing video, because video is like what you just said, like, you've moved yourself you still got your podcast, but you've got your videos on YouTube as well, and it's so important to be visible, to be seen for people. So the more someone sees you on YouTube or on Periscope or on Facebook Live, the more it's like that know, like, and trust factor.
Yeah,
they feel like they know you, they like you, and you're going to trust someone through a video rather than just reading 20 different blog posts. So that is what I'm doing right now.
So I'm obviously conscious of time passing by, and I could continue that conversation with you for hours. But so tell us where people can find you, and who your target audience is.
Definitely. So because I kind of help lots of different people, I would just suggest you all go to veenav.com. So VEENAV.com. And you can follow me like everywhere. If you just type in @official Veena V, I'm on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, basically. So yeah, you can just, but the main thing, just go to my website. You'll be able to find the Mum to Millionaire podcast. I know we won't go into it now because this is another whole story, but I've also launched my own products. I sell my own tripods as well.
So you do physical products? I
do, yeah. So I started to do that. I launched that in December. Again, about taking action. I had an idea and I thought, I'm going to try this. And because I tried it, I've got my own physical. I should have really had it here, but I'm sure you'll link it in the description. I've been nominated for Product of the Year now.
Oh, excellent.
at the Network Mums Business Awards. So I'm going to the ceremony on Saturday, actually. So I'll let you know if I win. Thank you. But yeah, it's just about telling people. Like, I forget sometimes that I have a product. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I sell these amazing phone stands and tripods. So yeah, just all about taking action. That's my message for everyone. If you have an idea, just take the steps, do your research, and just do it. I think a lot of people like think about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And by the time they're still thinking, 2 years has passed.
Yeah,
you could have used those two years to get started. And
I've definitely
I'm learning
been there.
Yeah.
I think we all have been there at some point, and that's just fear, of course. And yeah, exactly. I think there's no such a thing. I don't remember who said that. Nelson Mandela, maybe, that there is no such a thing as failure. It's only success or learning. So
exactly.
yeah,
I truly believe that. I believe that.
Absolutely. Veena, it was amazing having you. I've really enjoyed this. I hope that we won't have to record again because the connection has been challenging. So I will listen to it.
Oh, no.
And so it could well be that the listeners end up with a complete different version.
Yeah.
If we record it, but hopefully this won't be needed because I think it really was a very good conversation. I've loved that. Thank you so much. So for the listeners and viewers, if you too want to go after your dreams, or if you too want to reinvent your life when you're facing challenges, you can have a complimentary discovery consultation with me to find out how I can help you with it. And to do so, you simply go to my website, and that is www.anyesvanrhijn.com. Thank you so much, and see you in next interview. Thanks. Bye.